Good morning, welcome back to another video on the channel. So today's video I'm going to be focusing on the two fantastic women's semi-finals coming up tonight at the Cincinnati Masters between Iga Swiatek and Serena Sabalenka before Jessica Pegula takes on Pula. So I'm just going to jump straight into it, and the first match I'm going to look at is Iga Swiatek against Serena Sabalenka. As you can see there, Swiatek dominates the head-to-head between these two players, 8-3. Swiatek has also won the last three meetings, but I think it's worth noting that the matches that Sabalenka has won against Swiatek, two of them have been on very fast hard court. The other one was in Madrid, which is the fastest clay court, which are good signs for Sabalenka. We know it's playing very fast in Cincinnati, although there have also been windy conditions, which has suited Swiatek's topspin heavy forehand. And I don't think it's forecast to be very windy tonight, which will please Sabalenka. But I feel like all the pressure's on Sabalenka, because if Sabalenka can't beat Swiatek on a very fast hard court in the US, which are basically her ideal conditions, then you wonder how is she going to turn this head-to-head around. And it's similar with Coco Gauff. I've said that if Sabalenka and Gauff, who are the top three players in the world, along with Swiatek, want to win more Masters and they want to win more majors, they've both got to find a way of turning this head-to-head around. Particularly Coco Gauff, I think, has lost the last 8 meetings against Swiatek. Swiatek now 8-3, winning the head-to-head against Sabalenka. They are very big numbers in favour of Swiatek, and both players have to find a way of defeating her if they want to register more titles in the future. Swiatek, I feel like, didn't defend great against Andreeva. I don't think we've seen the best of Swiatek so far this week, but she's going to have to produce a lot better performance to beat Sabalenka. Whether Swiatek is 100% fit, I'm not sure. She's had a very, very taxing few months from the clay courts to Wimbledon, back on the clay courts, carried huge pressure into that Olympics, was the massive favourite and only got the bronze medal. So I think Swiatek, it'll be a test of her tonight to see where she is on hard courts. You don't beat Sabalenka unless you play at your absolute best. But Swiatek is capable, as we know, of beating anybody in the world on any surface, in any conditions. Swiatek has found a way over the past couple of years of absorbing Sabalenka's pace. I watched the match between these two players live out in Rome this year, and Swiatek absolutely dominated that matchup from pretty much start to finish. It was a very easy day's work for Swiatek. And I think Swiatek is a player that, in extended rallies, is by far and away the best women's player in the world. I think she'll dominate the long exchanges in this matchup. She'll look to keep Sabalenka deep in difficult positions and ask Sabalenka to hit winners from improbable positions. And she's found it a very easy way of keeping Sabalenka wide, keeping the ball low, extending rallies and forcing mistakes from Sabalenka, who can be guilty of becoming erratic and overhitting from difficult positions. Sabalenka has, without doubt, in my opinion, played better tennis than Swiatek this week so far, as you would expect on a quick hard court. She's yet to drop a set. She didn't lose serve against Samsonova, which is fantastic preparation for this matchup. Sabalenka is a player that we've known throughout the years can just cruise through draws with her sheer power and ground stroke speed. I feel like Swiatek and Gauff are probably the only two players in the world that can really counterpunch well consistently against Sabalenka and actually come out on top on hard courts against her. I feel like, as I've said at the start of this preview, all the pressure's on Sabalenka. The perfect conditions for her. She's playing very good tennis. I don't think we've seen the best of Swiatek yet. As you can see, she's lost 2 sets already, just through 3 rounds. Sabalenka's yet to drop a set, had some very good wins against Elena and Samsonova in cruise control. These are her ideal conditions to beat Swiatek, and with losing the last 3, I feel like she needs to really win this to carry momentum in the US Open and convince herself that she is still the best player in the world. And I feel the key for Sabalenka is controlled aggression. I think Swiatek is tactically excellent. Sabalenka needs to be willing to rally at times. She needs to be patient but execute when coming forward and be solid around the net. I feel like that's the key for Sabalenka, that she serves well. She picks her moments to attack. She's clever. She's patient. She hits lines. She follows the ball in. Has conviction around the net and tries to bully Swiatek on a fast hard court. I feel like that's her only way to victory. In terms of match prediction, as I've just said, conditions and court speed are perfect for Sabalenka. Definitely more suited to her than the Irish Swiatek, who dominates this matchup on clay in particular. But it's easy to forget how good and how successful Swiatek has been on hard court as well. Swiatek is an amazing hardcore player and should not be underestimated. I feel like Swiatek's got more variety in the game. She's dominated this matchup recently, and I'm going to go against Swiatek to win this one in 2 sets, which may be a surprising prediction, given that I think Swiatek has not played her best, but I feel like she's a player that really steps it up when she needs to, and she's capable of defeating Sabalenka on any hard court. And it would be a huge statement for Swiatek going into the US Open if she could beat Sabalenka at Cincinnati. So I'm going to go against Swiatek to reach yet another Masters final. Second semi-final between Paula Badosa and Jessica Pegula. Now, these have both had very different routes to the final. As you can see there, Badosa yet to drop a set. Pegula's had a hell of a fight on her hands, beating Mukova after being a set down, coming through a 3-hour marathon against Leylah Fernandez yesterday. Just starting with Pegula, who does lead this head-to-head 2-0. Pegula's had a very poor season. She was a player that broke into the top 5. Many people predicted it to win the Australian Open at the start of the year. She was going to have a very good US swing. And I think it's took until now for Pegula to play her best tennis. She defended a title in Toronto last week with some amazing tennis. She's on an 8-match winning streak now. And she's played very well to get through this draw. I think it's been a very tough physical battle. She hasn't played her best tennis throughout, but she's a player that's very confident and hardcore. She's got the backing of the crowd. She's a good fighter. Got immense fighting spirit, and she's doing well to be here. She looked down and out almost in that match against Leylah Fernandez, but found something from within, some heart and will and desire to reach into the semi-final. And as I've said, she looked exhausted. And I think the quick turnaround from Toronto hasn't helped. It's very hot in America at the moment, very difficult conditions to play in back-to-back. But Pegula is a player that is hugely skillful, and she's so good on these quick hard courts that she can sort of get away sometimes and not playing her best tennis. She gets incredible ball speed off both wings, counter punches excellently. She's got experience of winning titles. She's got the backing of the crowd. But I feel like she's going to really need to ride a wave and fight incredibly hard to beat Badosa, who's in brilliant form. As I've said, Pegula really struggled physically yesterday, and to turn up less than 24 hours later and produce another performance of a high level is going to be ultra tough, but Pegula may be capable. On to Paula Badosa, who was told in March that the back injury could potentially end her career, which would have been a huge shame. Badosa has been one of the best players in WTA over the past 3 or 4 years. She reached world number 2 back in 2022, and since March, thankfully, the pain seems to have subsided. The back doesn't seem to be an issue anymore, which is fantastic for her career. And she won the DC Open title 2 weeks ago, which was her first title in a couple of years. She's had loads and loads of problems with her back, and it's been very difficult to see such a talented player not be able to play on court. So it's brilliant to see her back in these sorts of matches, and she fully deserves to be in and around the top 10 and competing for titles on a regular basis. Badosa didn't face a single break point in the quarterfinal win against Pavlyuchenkova. She hasn't dropped a set yet this week. She's cruised through everybody that she's played. Hasn't had the toughest of draws, but Putin Saver, Pavlyuchenkova, good hardcore players, and just came through without any problem. I think the key for Badosa, she's serving excellently this week, playing consistently well. She's a great baseliner. She's very good at extending rallies, maintaining depth. Also has the big forehand, particularly in the cross court, which I feel like is a huge weapon of hers. She's also ultra tough. I think when you've been through the injuries that Badosa has, they're never a positive, but they must toughen you mentally, and you feel like you're never going to get beat on court. You've also got the sense that you never believed you were going to step out on court again, I believe. Badosa was in that position in March. So anything for her now is a bonus, and she plays without fear sometimes, but is also very battle-hardened, and I'm sure the injuries have made her so mentally tough that she almost feels invincible when stepping out on court, given her talent and mental desire and fight and will to win. Badosa should be much fresher coming into this. She has played an extra round, but Pegula had a very tough week last week in Toronto, winning that title, and has now had 2 very tough matches against Mukova and Fernandez. So Badosa should be fresher, should have more in the tank. In terms of a match prediction, I feel like, as I mentioned, Pegula's looked exhausted so far this week. She's got the adrenaline, I'm sure, of playing a Masters semi-final. You're always going to be up for it physically and mentally. She'll have the backing of the crowd, but Borsa is a top player. And I feel like if Pegula was at her best, I would probably favour in this matchup. But if you're not fully fit, you're not playing your best tennis, you are a little bit sluggish in your movements, then you're not going to beat a player of the class of Borsa the way that she's playing. Badosa is also a nightmare to play if you're not feeling physically brilliantly. You know, she's brilliant extending rallies. She maintains depth very well. She's got a hell of a first serve that she's using so effectively so far this week on quick hard courts. And I'm going to go Badosa to win this one in 3 sets. I think Pegula will really fight, use all of her quality at times to drag her through, but I feel like Badosa might just have a little bit more in the tank and reach a maiden Masters final in the US, I believe, to face Iga Swiatek. So thank you for watching. If you would like to leave a like on the video, it would be much appreciated. And if you could subscribe, that would help my journey into working in tennis media. Just a few reasons there why I do this YouTube channel: to improve my skills, to improve my knowledge of the sport, shine more light on tennis. It is a sport that I love watching and analyse and give my opinions on. And ultimately, I do want to work in tennis one day. So every subscription and like on the video just helps my platform grow and hopefully help me achieve the dream of working in tennis media. So thank you for watching. It is greatly appreciated, and I will see you on the next video.